Welcome to this tutorial on personal development. My name is Emily and this tutorial is produced as part of the online Head Start programme for civil engineering. What we'll look at here is a definition of personal development, often called PDP for short. We'll also look at why it's important for your academic and professional development, and finally we'll look at how you might do it. First of all, it's important to think about learning as a process. So something will happen, have an action or event. You'll think about how it went, then you might come up with some rules about what you would do better next time, and then you would plan in order to inform the next time you do that action. So an example might be if you go into your first lecture and start to take notes. Now the first time you do it, you might come out and realise, or maybe you took too many notes or took down the wrong pieces of information. You might then think about, well, how should I take notes? You might have a look at some note-making strategies online or in the Ask workshops or in ULink. And then you think, okay, well, next time I'll try a different one, see if that works, and go through the same process. And personal development planning is exactly the same thing. It just formalises that process. So it's about thinking about your academic career and personal development by reflecting on what you've learned and the skills you need to develop in order to keep on learning. And it's about thinking, am I in charge of my life and my studies, or am I just hoping it will all work itself out? Now, the most successful students have some idea about where they're going, rather than just coasting along and hoping it will come to you. You want to have some idea of your short and long-term goals, even if they look nothing like what actually happens. The process of thinking about where you want to be and how you're going to get there is what's important. Personal development can be done in 3 steps. First of all, it's considering where you are now and being honest about your strengths, your weaknesses, things you know you definitely need to work on in the short term and in the long term. You might decide to do a skills audit, and we have one available on the Ask website, which you can do, or you can just divide a piece of paper into 2 and write down your strengths and weaknesses. Then you need to think about where you'd like to be. So you might think, okay, I want to get a first-class degree, or you might want to get some part-time work, or you might be thinking about how you're going to get the placement that you want to get. And obviously these goals need to be realistic. And then you need to think about how you're going to get there. And that's about taking short steps, and often they're called SMART objectives, in order to get to where you want to be. An important part of personal development is about identifying opportunities for you to develop as academically and professionally. And when you arrive at Brunel, you'll be presented with an enormous amount of opportunities for extracurricular activities. That could involve taking part in a club or society, or being a student rep. It could involve coming along to workshops provided by Ask or the Careers Centre. And all of this is very much directed by you. It's up to you to take advantage of what is on offer at Brunel. You may also decide to get some part-time work or to volunteer to boost your CV, and that's really important, as long as you remember, of course, that your primary aim is to be here and to succeed on your course. And also, one that people tend to forget about is that actually your meetings with your personal tutor are huge sources when it comes to identifying opportunities to develop. You can talk to them about how you think you're doing, where you want to be, and how you might get there, and they can give you realistic advice about that based on their experiences. The following video presents the experiences of one student and how she developed over the course of her degree.
When I first started uni, I set myself a lot of personal and academic goals. My main goal was, of course, to get a first-class degree. And obviously by achieving that, I needed to make sure that I not only put all my efforts into my essays and my exams, but also put in the extra time to do the extra reading, not just what's recommended of you, but doing that little bit extra and getting the new piece of information that wasn't maybe told in class, and trying to step up from everybody else a little bit. Personally as well, I think in order to be a first-class student, you need to be a well-rounded one. So not only to achieve academically, but to also achieve personally and socially. So I made sure that I joined different societies when I was at university, and also made sure that I volunteered in a lot of different sectors. So in the hospital I volunteered, or in a charity. And also even just having a part-time job on campus as well, just to kind of literally I was everywhere at one time. And I think those were the goals that I set for myself before I started, and hopefully, and so far I've accomplished a lot of them, and just hopefully accomplish all of them by the end.
As you can see from the video, Nora had a really positive experience of engaging with personal development, and it helped her stay on track and stay motivated. Now, when it comes to your personal development, we've thought about going through the 3 steps, but how do you write that down? Most of us will have some kind of instant reaction after an event, thinking, well, that didn't go so well, or that went really well, or I'd really like to be here at one point, or what have you. Now, if we don't do any more than that, it often just becomes daydreaming, and we never really get to where we want to be. So it's important sometimes that we record it in a more structured way. So it might be an action plan with smart objectives. I want to be here by a certain point, and in order to do that, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. You may decide you prefer to reflect in a less structured way and have a diary or a blog. On your course, you'll be involved using an e-portfolio called PebblePad to structure your reflection around particular pieces of assessment. Personal development is important for several reasons. It's about stretching yourself and making the most of your time at university. As Nora said, a well-rounded student isn't just an academic one. It's looking at your professional development, your personal development in terms of your own attributes, your confidence, whatever it might be. But it's about coming to university, seeing all the opportunities on offer, and being the person you want to be by making the most of them. It allows you to gain a clearer focus to your learning and helps keep you motivated. If you have an action point to say, I want to be here by a certain point, then you can really think about how every aspect of your study at university leads to that point. And finally, it will give you confidence in the skills and qualities you bring to the career of your choice. The ability to reflect at this stage on what you're good at and what you need to improve is a key thing you bring to your personal statements and applications, so it's good to get into the habit beforehand. The final important thing to know about personal development is that you may on occasion need to ask for help and support, and you need to know when to do so and how to do so. So you need to know your resources, and Ask Academic Skills are one of many that can support you at university.